Hey friends, it's Mrs. Walker. For our lesson today, we're going to start a brand new module and we're going to talk about data. And we're going to talk about ways that we can collect data. Well, what's data? Well, data is just organizing information that we collect. So, for example, if we wanted to talk to each other and look at our whole class and say, how many of our friends have a favorite color of blue? And how many friends have a favorite color of purple and pink and red? So we could take a survey of our whole class and be able to record the favorite colors. And that's data that we just collected. So it's information about a topic. So our learning goal for today is I can sort and record data into a table using up to 4 categories. So friends, the materials that you'll need for this lesson are just your dry erase board. So make sure you have that before we get started. All right, friends, let's play a guessing game. So I have 2 legs, wings, feathers, and I can fly. What animal am I? All right, guess what? I'm a bird. So I just described the characteristics of a bird. Where do you see the characteristics of a bird listed on this chart? Yeah, so here's the characteristics of a bird. There's a column that has characteristics of a bird. So feathers, wings, 2 legs, can fly, lays eggs, and is warm-blooded. So here I have this little chart. So I can fill it in based on this animal, the bird. So a bird has, a bird has feathers and wings. And a bird, let's look. Oh, it can fly, right? Or I could say it lays eggs. And I could say it is warm-blooded. So I can use the characteristics in my chart to help me kind of fill in some sentence frames for that bird or that animal. So here we have what animal, friends? Yeah, it's a fish, right? So use these sentence frames to tell about the fish. So it's the same ones that I just used. I want you guys to pause the video and use the characteristics in our chart over here that have fish, and I want you to fill in those blanks. And then click play when you're ready to go over it together. All right, friends, pause if you need more time. So here's what I came up with. And maybe yours might be a little bit different, and that's okay. So I said, a fish has scales and gills. It can swim, and it is cold-blooded. So those were the characteristics that I used to describe the fish. All right, friends, so let's sort animals into categories or groups based on their characteristics. So I'll show you a picture of an animal, and you tell me which category the animal belongs in. Are you ready? Okay. So this is a table to organize our data. So here we have bird, mammal, reptile, fish. For each animal, we'll put a tally mark in the correct category. So the tally mark is representing one animal. So we're going to use that to help us organize our data as we collect it. Okay, so now are you guys ready to look at the animal characteristics? Okay, so we have our chart and we have we have our table that we're going to organize our data in, and we have our animal characteristics chart. So here's our first animal. Ooh, we have a penguin. The African penguin lays 2 eggs at a time. So friends, is the African penguin a bird, a mammal, a reptile, or a fish? So this one could be a little bit tricky, but because it lays eggs and it has feathers and it's warm-blooded, we could say it's a bird. Okay, so we have a bird is our first one. So we're going to record it with 1 tally mark. Now our next animal is a clownfish. So the clownfish has scales, fins, and gills. So friends, what type of animal can we classify the clownfish as? A bird, a mammal, a reptile, or a fish? Yeah, it's a fish. So we're going to record 1 tally mark next to fish. Okay, here's our next one. Ooh, a polar bear. The polar bear's thick coat of insulated fur protects against the Arctic cold. So friends, is it a bird, a mammal, a reptile, or a fish? Look at those characteristics. Yeah, the polar bear is a mammal. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Oh, yikes. Oh, I do not like snakes, friends, but that's okay. We're going to classify this guy. Okay, so this rough green snake. Rough green snakes lay 4 to 12 sticky eggs under a flat stone or rock. Ugh, gross. Sorry for all of you snake lovers out there, but I am not one of them. So let's get through this one quick. Is a snake a bird, a mammal, a reptile, or a fish? Yeah, it's a reptile. Good job. Okay, we're going to mark one tally mark and move to the next one. Phew, glad that one's over. Okay, our next one, friends, that we have is a barn owl. So the barn owl usually lays 4 to 7 eggs at a time. So use your picture and that description to help you decide. Is it a bird, a mammal, a reptile, or a fish? Yeah, it's a bird. So look, there goes another tally mark. Now notice when I made the next tally mark, I left some space in between them so I was able to see the difference. If you mark your tally marks too close together, it might look like one mark instead of two. So make sure you leave some space. All right, here's another one, a seahorse. Male seahorses carry eggs in brood pouches. They swim using a small fin on their backs. So is this a bird, a mammal, a reptile, or a fish? A seahorse is a fish, so we're going to add one more tally mark. All right, so now I want you guys to copy the animal classification chart on your dry erase board. Now, here's your chart. Okay, when you are drawing this, just do a quick draw. It doesn't have to be anything perfect, but just give yourself some space to be able to make those tally marks, okay? And include the tally marks that I already have. So for bird, you should have 2, mammal, you should have 1, reptile 1, and fish 2. Okay, so pause the video, copy just the animal classification chart in the top. You don't have to do the animal characteristics. So pause the video, copy that table, and then click play when you're ready for the next step. All right, friends, pause if you need more time. Okay, so I'm going to show you several animals and you will classify each animal as a bird, a mammal, a reptile, or a fish, and you'll record it in your chart. So this time the difference is that you guys are going to get several animals at a time. You're going to pause the video and you're going to classify all of those animals on the page. Then you'll click play and we'll do another set and then we'll compare our charts. Okay, so here's our first one. Okay, so you have the Arctic fox, the bottlenose dolphin, the brown bear, the rabbit, the leopard gecko, the green iguana, another snake, California mountain king snake, and the bull shark. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video, categorize your animals in your tally chart, and click play when you're ready to go over it together. All right, friends, pause if you need more time. Okay, so here's our next set. Okay, so you guys are going to pause the video, do the same exact thing with these 6 animals, and then click play when you're ready for the next step. All right, friends, so here's the data I collected when I sorted the animals into categories. Sometimes I like to write the total for each category so I can quickly see the numbers without having to count them each time. So friends, how many birds did we have? Yeah, we had 4. Now, if you have a mistake, it's okay. You can pause the video in just a minute and make those corrections, okay? Then we have next is a mammal. Now, friends, notice how I drew this line straight across like that. That's to model that I have a group of 5. So I draw 4 lines, and then when I'm ready for the 5th, I draw a line across. That makes it easier for me to be able to count as I'm going through. So I don't have to count 5 lines. I can just see that there's already a group with a line across, so that means 5. So I would count 5, and then the next group, 6, 7, 8. Okay, for reptiles, oh, I don't have to count all those because I have that line across, so that means there's 5. And then for fish, there's 3. Okay, so friends, if you do not have that data correctly in your table, you can pause the video real quick and you can correct it. Okay, if you do not have any corrections you need to make, then let's keep going. All right, friends, so how many categories does this table have? So the categories are the different animal classifications. So bird, mammal, keep going. How many categories do we have? Yeah, we have 4. Bird, mammal, reptile, and fish. How many birds are there? 4. Perfect. So we just have to find bird and follow that across, and we see that we have a number 4. How many mammals? 8 mammals. So notice, friends, how it was nice that I already went in and counted each one of these and wrote that number, because now I don't have to count them again, so I can answer these questions much quicker. How many reptiles? 5 reptiles. You got it. How many fish? 3 fish. Good job. So how many animals did we sort all together? Oh, so friends, how do I solve this one? Oh, you're so right. So now I just have to add up how many I have in all. Okay, so we would add 4 plus 8 plus 5 plus 3. Why don't you pause the video really quick and find out how many animals did we sort all together? All right, friends, pause if you need more time. So we sorted a total of 20 animals. Oh, that's a lot. All right, so how many more birds and mammals are there than reptiles? So this is where we're having to look at our chart even more closely. So it talks about how many more birds and mammals are there than reptiles. So I know I need to look at my chart for birds and mammals. So when I look here, oh, there we go. I can look right at my chart and see how many birds and mammals there are. Oh, well, that's 4 plus 8. Well, 4 plus 8 equals 12. Then I need to look at how many reptiles there are. Friends, how many reptiles did we have? Yeah, we had 5 reptiles, and I could see that because I can look right up in my chart and count those tallies. So now in order for us to find out how many more birds and mammals there were than reptiles, are we going to add 12 and 5 or are we going to subtract 12 and 5? Yeah, we're going to subtract. So why don't you guys pause the video and solve 12 minus 5 and then click play when you're ready to go over it together. All right, friends, so 12 minus 5 equals 7. So there are 7 more birds and mammals than reptiles. All right, let's look at another one. Oh, you know what I'm going to do, friends? I'm going to take this data and sort it into different categories based on the habitats. So I just happen to know where these animals live. So I know that they either live in the Arctic, the woodland, or the ocean habitat. So when I look at my animal classifications, I know that 4 of those animals live in the Arctic, 10 of them live in the woodland habitat, and 6 of them live in the ocean habitat. So now I've just kind of taken that data and I've looked at it just a little bit differently based on some other things that I know. So now how many categories does this table have? Yeah, this one has 3 categories: Arctic, woodland, and ocean. Which category has the fewest animals? Yeah, it's the Arctic, because there's 4 and fewest is the smallest number. Which category has the most animals? Boom, it's the woodland habitat. Okay, good job. All right, so what is the total number of animals that live in the woodland and the ocean? So friends, I want you guys to pause the video and I want you to solve and find out how many animals live in the woodland and the ocean habitats. And then click play when you're ready to go over it together. All right, friends, so what I did is I looked at this part of my chart here and I see that there's 10 and 6. So 10 plus 6 equals 16. So there were 16 total animals that live in the woodland and ocean habitat. How many fewer animals live in the Arctic than in the ocean? So friends, for this one, I need to look at the Arctic and I need to look at the ocean. So as I look at those, I can see that there's a difference between those numbers, right? So I need to subtract when I'm talking about how many fewer. So 6 minus 4. Oh, you guys can do that, friends. What's 6 minus 4? Yeah, it's 2. So 2 fewer animals live in the Arctic than in the ocean. All right, friends, good job with those questions. All right, you guys nailed it today, sorting and organizing data into a table. So please head back on over to the module to see what you need to complete for your independent practice. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to help. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye, friends!